If you're into property finance or just leveling up your mindset, these 5 books will be a game changer for you. So in this video, I'm going to talk through the 5 books that have helped me boost productivity, build up on my property portfolio, and shift how I think about money and life. So the first is The Psychology of Money. Woo. This book will guaranteed change the way you think about money. It talks about how our upbringing and our circumstances actually have a big impact on how we view money, and also the fact that luck also is a big factor on how successful you're going to be. So if you're in a first world country with opportunities, you're a lot more likely to build wealth than if you are in a third world country with limited resources. And it also talks about, it's not just about how much you earn, but actually how you behave with money. There are a lot of instances and cases where people have actually earned a lot of money, but they've been able to blow it all because of the way they view money. And in that, it made me realize that actually staying wealthy is a different skill to actually getting wealthy, because you can acquire the skills and everything to actually get wealthy. But if you view money in a way which makes you want to spend all the money that you make, then ultimately you're going to end up in the position that you were before you actually earned all that money. One thing I loved about the book is it spoke about how important it is to save, and even just keep saving, even if there's nothing to save towards, because with saving comes options. So things happen in life. You can get made redundant from your job, you can suffer an injury that stops you from working, but if you have a lot of savings, then you have options. You can get the medical care that's needed. If you're made redundant from your job, you have time because you have savings to actually think about and get a job that you like, as opposed to actually being made or forced to actually get a job straight away because you don't have the funds to be able to actually sustain yourself for a period of time. So Psychology of Money is an excellent book that will for sure change the way you view money, and it will shift it for the better. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Now, I know that this is a classic. A lot of people talk about this book, but for me, this was the first book that I read that shifted my mindset as well. For me, it was just important just to earn a lot, but I didn't really think about actually putting it into assets or anything like that when I was in my early to mid 20s. So actually reading this book really kicked off my investing journey. And it was actually because of this that I then started to invest in ISA and put money into stocks and shares ISA. And then from there, looked at actually buying investment properties. And it was because it spoke about the power of actually having assets that actually cash flow for you, where you're not actually having to sweat and work for it. So there's hard earned money where you actually have to put in time to make the money. And then there's assets that cash flow for you where you don't actually have to be present there or actually have to work on it consistently. So that really shifted my mindset because it made me understand that actually to build real wealth, I need to be putting it into assets which over time grow in value and actually can cash flow for me as well. My third book is The Complete Guide to Property Investment, How to Survive and Thrive in the New World of Buy-to-Let by Rob Dix. This book right here is a must for beginners starting out in property investment. It clearly defines the different ways you can actually get into property investment. And with regards to the different ways you can actually invest in properties, it goes through the time and capital that's actually needed, and also the knowledge that's needed as well to actually making it happen. So for example, if you're just looking to invest in buy-to-let, standard buy-to-lets, then it will take you a little bit longer to actually build real wealth and cash flow as well, because you're putting money into buy-to-let, the money then stays in that property and then it's cash flowing for you. However, if you're using a strategy where you actually buy the property and then do it up, for example, take out money based on that new value, refinance it, and then cash flow from it, then you're likely to be able to build your property portfolio a lot quicker because you're recycling money. So it talks clearly through each one and how you can actually do it. So it's definitely a recommendation if you are looking to start out in property investing and you're not really sure what you should be doing. This book is definitely a must. So my fourth book is Atomic Habits. Now, this isn't a finance book. However, it's a book about how you can actually stay productive and the little shifts in behaviors that you can actually do. And it's very practical. So it gives a lot of practical insight and tips and things you can actually try out straight away that can actually improve how productive you are day on day. So it talks about habit stacking, where you do a task and it enables you to actually do a next task and a bigger task, and it follows through. It talks about how if there's something you just don't want to do, you can actually tell yourself you'll do it for 5 minutes, and after those 5 minutes, if you don't want to do it anymore, you are able to walk away from it. And what we tend to find is actually when we start something, we're a lot more likely to stick with it. So it gives a lot of tips and practical things like that in the book. So I definitely recommend. If you want to get more productive and if you feel like you procrastinate quite a lot and you don't get much done, Atomic Habits is the book for you. And lastly, my guy, Mark Manson, The Subtle Art of How to Not Give a... Great book. So this is a really good book. And it talks about how actually, you can choose the things you want to care about and then stop choosing things that don't serve you. So it actually discusses about how as humans, we will create problems even if problems don't exist. So it's actually about choosing good problems, good things to solve, because you're always going to have issues and problems that you're thinking about. So it really shifts the way I thought about things in general in life. And actually there's things I probably pay too much mind to where now I don't care as much. And doing that frees up your mind to actually focus on things that actually matter and matter to you and matter to other people around you as well that you want to serve. So again, this is a really, really good book in terms of changing your mindset and a shift in the way that you think. So those are the 5 books that generally shifted how I actually think and move. They've really had a big impact in helping me build up my property portfolio, get better on my finances, and actually just be a more productive, efficient, and a better person overall. So if you are just starting out, feel free to grab my How to Buy Your First Investment Property Starter Guide and my Deal Analyzer sheet as well, where you can actually plug your numbers and actually assess cash flow and your return on investment. Both will be in the description and in the pinned comment below. And if you do want one-to-one mentoring, then there are a few options that you can actually choose from. Again, this will be in the description and the pinned comment, and I look forward to helping you reach your property goals. So if you enjoyed this video, do give it a like, and if you found value from this video or any other video on this channel, then do subscribe as well. And until next time, happy investing.